So you might have clicked on a video because you were actually able to relate with the title, with the fact that you're just basically too afraid to approach women. And I can honestly understand it because I was in the same position as you are. I was one of the most anxious, shy, and introverted kids, and there was no way I was able to approach a single woman or to even say a word. And fast forward to the end of the eighth grade, I was actually rejected by my first crush, right? My 5 year crush. And because of the fact that I was like extremely unattractive, I was skinny as fuck, awkward socially, I genuinely wanted to make a change, right? And I picked up some dumbbells and shit and started working on my physique. And surprisingly, soon enough, I started to see some progress. I was uh, getting a little bit bigger, and I gained a little bit of confidence, you know. And of course, in order to attract women, looks isn't enough, as we all know. So actually, I discovered that I can actually improve my social skills. And mid high school, I stumbled across this concept called approaching women, to call approach. And when I first saw it, I was frightened instantly because how how the fuck could you approach strangers? Like I was so afraid of doing this thing, right? But after a while, I started to be really drawn to cold approaching, and I really wanted to learn this skill, especially because I found that actually no man really knows how to do it properly, especially with women. So I got a little bit more motivated and to actually learn this shit. So to actually start learning the skill, I searched on YouTube for pickup dating gurus to help me with this thing, and it really helped me um, build momentum, learn the actual technicalities behind everything, and how to actually call approach. Because I thought it was quite straightforward, but no, you actually need to learn how to have a proper body language, hold eye contact. Like it was more than the simple act to approach the woman to pursue her, right? So a few months passed, right? And I actually started to do a couple of approaches here and there, but they were really bad. Like I I, I would have just approached the woman, and instantly I would be shaking and stuttering. Like I would get so nervous, like super quickly. And of course the woman would look at me in like with those weird eyes and like leave. Right? And by the year 2025, I actually got like above average with this skill set. Like I wasn't that good. I just said above average because nobody can actually do it properly. Like you genuinely have no competition. You have only the creepy guys and the ones who just like nervously approach the woman and just ask for the phone number straight up, and they get ghosted afterwards. But after a while, it comes a moment when I realize something that because I wasn't too consistent with this thing. Like for a whole straight year, I barely got any better with this skill set, and I found myself in last summer in 2025, and it was mid August, and I was about to leave on a vacation, like without my parents, with my grandma and my brother, right? Like a dream fucking vacation, no parents. I was able to do whatever I wanted, and I actually proposed something to me. Like I I make a promise on that specific vacation. I want to approach as many women and also guys as possible, like strangers, but especially women. So fast forward to the holiday, which was in Turkey. I was like extremely excited because like I knew for a fact that something would generally happen. Like I would approach a woman, I would get along with her, and shit would happen, right? But unfortunately, one day passes, 2 days passes, and even 3 days, and I haven't done any approach. I was just hanging around with my brother and doing absolutely nothing. Like I was still too afraid to approach. Like I didn't have that confidence, that true core confidence to approach women because I haven't put enough reps in to build that self-esteem, or how could I call it. And then one evening I was like, fuck dude, like I really gotta approach something because time passes and I was just constantly procrastinating it, right? So one night, i I think it was the night, like the third night of the holiday, right? And because we were in a resort, like the resorts in Turkey, all resorts in general have like some sort of nightclub. and, and this one was basically in a basement. And I was basically thinking that if there's a nightclub, women should 100% come there, right? And I would have opportunities to actually approach and do the fucking thing. So a couple of hours pass, and the excitement within me starts to build up gradually because I was getting closer and closer to the moment of actually going into the club and do approaches. And I was a bit nervous. So I go there alone. I should have come with my brother, but he didn't want to. He was bored or some shit. And I actually go there alone, lone wolf, approaching in a club. And I arrived there at around 11 or 12 a.m., if I remember correctly. And I was there like I was there all by myself. There was no one. It was only me, the DJ, and a bouncer, right? And because I really thought that I if I would stay more, like surely people would show up, right? So I stayed there for half an hour. I chatted with the DJs and with the other guy that was there, and surprisingly, some people start to show up, but they were just elderly people. But it gets to 12:30 a.m., 1 a.m., and people my age start to pop up. And like a bit later, a group of 7 to 8 guys show up with that really nice and pleasant vibe, you know. And I actually go up and approach them. Like fuck, we dap up and stuff. We talk, we hang around there and get along really well actually. And we start dancing. And I found out that they were from Sweden, and they were all like 10 plus years older than me. Like they were some of them were 26, 27, 28, or even 29, and I by that time I was only 18, right? So out of boredom we start like genuinely dancing or some shit because we are all waiting for women to come to do something, because I assume that the reason why they came here is to bang women. Some shit, right? So after a while, actually a group of women come, but unfortunately like they were under 18. They were kids. And we couldn't do anything. But fortunately enough, a group of 3 women come, which were actually older, like they were their age but older than me. And I actually like older women. For some reason. So yeah, and out of those 3 women there was a particular one woman which I really liked. She was really stunning and attractive, and finally she seemed over 18. And for the first couple of minutes I really started to get nervous because I knew I was about to approach something, to approach like that woman I wanted to, which I was really attracted to, right? And of course, as it was expected, I started to like to procrastinate the act of cold approaching, right? But then something starts to happen. Like we were me and the Swedish guys were in the middle of a club. We were like doing this circle where we would all just dance and shit and look for women. And actually 2 of those women come along and join us, right? But unfortunately not the woman I wanted to. Like the really attractive one. And she was sitting alone at a bar and just drinking shit. And while I was staying there and speaking with the boys, something like surge within me, like this desire to fuck everything, to like to genuinely ignore all of my feelings and do the fucking approach like ASAP. So after a couple of seconds, I just simply command my legs to work towards them, right? Because I had enough. I genuinely had enough of this procrastination I was doing, and because I wasn't making much progress, simply because of the fact that I wasn't doing the thing on a consistent basis. So surprisingly, I did approach. I held a decent conversation with them, and they were actually from the same country as I was, and I was really pleasant to see. And then after 1 or 2 minutes, I left them there and I went back with the boys. And like in my mind, I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's go!" I actually did it, and I was really really happy and fulfilled. But of course, as you might expect, it wasn't enough. Like my main goal, or my main trajectory for the night was to approach that hot woman. And after a while, like me and the Swedish guys and those two women, well, we basically wanted to take a break, right, from the dancing because it got boring, honestly. And I actually took courage and I sat right next to the chair where the stunning woman was sitting, right, and I was like dead ass nervous. And as I was sitting there next to her, like I was so in my head that should I speak to her? Should I speak to her? Should I not? Should I leave? Should I that and that, this and that? Like back in my mind, I was still trying to procrastinate and get out of the uncomfortable situation that I got in, right? But I'm gonna tell you something. Looking back, I genuinely will never regret the fact that I sat next to her, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like man, as soon as I actually spoke a word, like to her, she turned and faced me, and as soon as I did that, like she smiled, like she genuinely had a biggest smile on fuck, and she dead as had the biggest smile I ever seen. Like she genuinely was happy because I approached her and pursued her. And then actually, while we were talking, we were actually quite close, and I was able to to see her as a whole. And I swear to God, like being this close to her, I actually realized like she was, wow, fuck, she was so fine. Yeah. And back in my head, I was like, fuck yeah, shit is going well. Like I might actually convert her into, I don't know, into like a vacation girl. Let's call her like that. And then from that moment, like shit is going smooth as fuck. Like we genuinely talk and connect. And after a while, it got to 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and we genuinely got bored of the club, and we wanted to sit somewhere outside and have drinks and just talk shit, right? And to get to know each other. So we go and do that, and we sit somewhere, we find a place, and I actually was able to sit right next to this super attractive woman, right? And let's call her Laura for the sake of this video. So basically, as I was sitting there with Laura and with the two other girls, I actually found like those two girls have told me that uh, Laura had already noticed me like 2 days prior to that moment, and she was already finding me attractive. And then I was like, the fuck. So surprisingly, she was actually liking me before I even got to meet her, which was really really interesting because before that moment I've never seen her. And then I realized that that was the reason why she actually like genuinely had that big ass smile on her face when I pursued her and started to talk to her, right? And deep down, I was extremely happy because I finally did approach and had a fucking result, like a really good one. And of course, it comes to a point where I actually have to ask about their age, like how old they are. Like this shit will sound fucked up, but they were around 26, 27, and I was 18. Like they were almost a decade older than me. And man, from that point on, I had like really really listen to me. I had the best holiday I've ever had in my entire life. Like, oh my god, dude. And also not only because of her, but also because of the Swedish guys. Like, by the time was passing, we started to connect more and more and more, and we hung out more and just genuinely had fun, right? And then as time passes, me and Laura actually start to get closer and closer and closer, and a little bit physical as well, but not too much, because like back then I was still not that confident to escalate physically, you know. But then the worst part comes. Well, because I wasn't in my main town. Like, this shit happened on a holiday, right? And in 7 days, everything was about to end. Like, this whole sheer paradise was about to come to an end, and I would basically just never see her again and everyone else. So on the final day, the moment of the breakup starts to gradually approach, and I was fuck this mic setup. Hold on. Look. So on the final day, I was genuinely feeling sad because I knew that in a couple of hours, the moment of the breakup was slowly approaching, and I knew after that I would never see her again and the Swedish guys. But of course, I can't do shit about it. And that moment comes, we all hug and stuff, and we basically say goodbye. So yeah, as I was on my plane flying, I started to reflect on everything that has happened. And basically I had this like huge realization that if I didn't approach those two women and Laura, like nothing would have happened. Like, I would had a mediocre at best holiday. And like, this shit was mind blowing to me, because one single approach that literally took a couple of seconds to make led to that, to actually being and staying alongside a really attractive women. And back in my mind, I was really happy and fulfilled that I basically approached her, right? So in the end, I had like a really nice holiday. I actually pulled something. I could approach people, and also besides Laura and her friends and the Sweden guys, I actually was able to approach even more people and got to know more people, got their Instagrams, chatted, and established some connections, which was really pleasant. So what I'm trying to explain is that from a really small thing, insignificant act, it can actually lead to like a huge thing. And given my instance, from a really small act, which was basically the pursuit of those two women and Laura, which just took a couple of seconds, led to actually having one of the best, or I would actually say the best ever holiday I've ever had in my entire life. And when I got back home and I was reflecting on everything that has happened, I realized that basically if I hadn't done this approach, nothing of this sort would have happened, which was a really interesting thought that I had. And from that moment, I actually started to like generally dial in into this cold approaching thing. So I was tracking everything. Like, I was writing down every single approach I was doing, men, women, attracting women, if I had flirty conversations, and so on. So here's the thing I want you to take away from this video is that, like, please cold approach strangers. It's one of, like, generally, I, with my whole heart, I really mean it. It's one of the most, or I would say the most life-changing skill set ever, like socially wise, because it's so freeing, the fact that you can just simply go up to a stranger and establish, build a connection, build a friendship, and And if the stranger is actually a woman, you can build a relationship. You can fucking find your future wife with this shit, man. Like, so therefore, I'm really really encouraging you to start building up this skill set, because as I said, it's purely life changing. It has changed my life socially. And the fact that like you have basically no competition is even more promising. And I also want to tell you something. I may not be the best at this, at cold approaching yet, and of course it's obvious. I've been doing this for just well over 2 years, and for the most part I was extremely inconsistent. And don't get me wrong, like, I 100% understand why you may be too afraid to cold approach, especially women, because this shit is hard. Like, I genuinely mean it. And it's still hard for me. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. I'm still making mistakes alongside you, and I'm still having shitty approaches sometimes, and you will as well. The final verdict would be just start. Stop procrastinating. Make a plan and take action. Because once you reach a certain level of this skill set, like, man, I'm guaranteeing it to you that your life will be changed, and I really mean it, genuinely. All right, I'm gonna head out. I'll see you in the next one.